University. I welcome you all the participants and all the respected guests. The vision of International Hindu University is to bridge Sanatan Dharma with modern scientific understanding, with rigorous research and education. Our university's board of director is chaired by Honorable Captain Manohar Mahajan sir, who is a ship captain, a philanthropist, and a promoter of Vedic Dharma. He is very well-known scholar and he is the promoter of Vedic Dharma. And he is also working in the direction. We're also guided by academically by by Dr. Prema Madam, who is also the chairperson of Academic Council, and we are also right now having the presence of Dr. Sri Gupta sir, who is from the School of Vedic Sciences from International Hindu University. He is very well-known scholar from Cornell University. These are our visionary scholars and supporters, and these are actually shaping the whole Vedic study with modern education. We also offer certificate courses, master program, doctoral programs in astrology, Vedic sciences, chaplaincy, solo sanskars, Hindu philosophy, and language certificates like IELTS and other certificate courses like French. And now, if you want to get connected with us, you can directly search to the web www.ihusa.org, or you can, if you want to know more, you can directly reach to us by emailing us contact@ihuusa.org. And you can also follow us on social media handles to get more updates about our programs, about our announcements, about our latest webinars and all.
International Hindu University, IHU USA, where ancient wisdom meets modern education. Explore our diverse programs in Vedic studies, yoga and wellness, Ayurveda, Hindu philosophy, Sanskrit, and Vedic sciences. Choose from certificate, masters, and PhD programs, all online and flexible. Join a global community and transform your life through authentic, holistic education. Enroll now and begin your spiritual journey today. Visit website ihuusa.org, email contact@ihuusa.org.
With this, we can start today's webinar. And the guest of today's webinar is Marko Grcic from Croatia. And I welcome you, sir, again, and very warm greeting from the IHU family. And today's guest is very renowned Shakti meditation teacher and a Vedic science researcher from Croatia, a country from Europe. His background spans a competitive sailing, a successful commodity trader, and extensive study and teaching of Vedic practices. Especially, he is very much emphasizing on Shakti meditation, pranayam, and asanas. He also emphasizes his Shakti meditation to unlock the inner freedom or path to inner freedom and the disciplined living. And the topic of today's discussion is the science of Vedas, unification of eternal laws in the light of first verse of Rigveda. And right now, the mic is over to you, Marco sir. You can start now.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for inviting me, and I'm very happy and to share some research I did in 25 plus years of research and experience in universal Vedic science, and I would like to share some key insights that I found out. That brings new light in the Vedic wisdom that belongs to all humanity. Thank you for this nice introduction, and I'm really happy I can be the part of Hindu International University and to speak about eternal science of Vedas. So I would like to share my PowerPoint presentation so we can start with presentation. So we can start. So I would like to share the science of Vedas and unification of eternal laws in the light of the first verse of Rigveda and Sankhya science. Uh, uh, so the Vedic knowledge is about eternal knowledge that is science of all sciences, and the Vedas are the oldest library of humanity, which means that Vedas is the scriptures and writings about eternal laws. So, in natural and spiritual law, we can see continuity of the laws, like gravity works the same. Doesn't matter in what space we live. It's very obvious that laws are eternal and valid for the whole universe. So usually, when I was studying, I was teach that every knowledge is replaced by something new, when with ordinary sciences like computer science or economy or law, we see that the knowledge is changing. So Sanatan Dharma means the science of eternal laws. So when we study law, if we really find the truth, then these are eternal truth. So the Vedas are the scriptures that speak about eternal universal law. So the meaning of Veda means to unite which already exist. And the beauty of all this is that Vedas belong to the whole humanity, and UNESCO or international organization recognize the Vedic tradition as an intangible cultural heritage of whole humanity, which means that Vedas belong are the knowledge of our ancestors that lived in this earth in many millennia ago, where development of science and spirituality was on a much higher level. So the Vedas are composed as different texts which covers all fields of human living, and so it covers spiritual and material laws, and all areas like Ayurveda, the science of life and medicine, Jyotish and astronomy, Vastu, sacred architecture, Sankhya, which is based to theory of everything and evolution, and physics also, that define the natural laws that we will cover in this presentation, that scientific version of Sankhya, and also Vedanta is a summa summarum of all Vedic knowledge. So it is just a small piece of Vedic knowledge that covers all fields of human living. So the many Vedic texts are written in axioms or sutras, which are axiomatic laws that cannot be disapproved, because axioms remain eternally valid. And we're going to show in this presentation to see how some axioms function and how this eternal truth penetrates all fields of reality. Modern science still rediscovers what Vedic seers defined a long time ago. Sri Srinivasan, who was able to decode the Sanskrit letter and got and exposed the real meaning and deeper meaning of these sutras, said that axioms are eternal, and nobody disapproved these axioms because it's proven in reality and through exact mathematics that we will show later in this presentation. Vedas are composed in Sanskrit, and the Sanskrit is the language of the nature, because Sanskrit represents the sounds of the nature. So we have 50 letters of Sanskrit plus two special sounds. So it is 52 sounds of the Sanskrit. And the Sanskrit is also called Devanagari, the language of the gods, that has been speaking on a spiritual level. And also Sanskrit, according to many linguists, independent linguists, it is the mother of all languages in the world. And it is very obvious. For example, my language, Slovenian languages, are very, very similar to Sanskrit, even 30% of similarity between the languages. Also, Indian languages like Hindi, Marathi are also similar to Sanskrit, but they evolved into just different directions. So and this is the language that nobody speaks, but it is the root of all languages. Sanskrit has been pronounced and speak only through Vedic rituals from some people who knows these phrases and mantras. But we should be aware of the common root of this perfect knowledge, and so the real greatness of the Sanskrit in something very new, that with alphabetical value, that every word has as a vibration that provide its meaning through vibration, not only through meaning. We have also numerical value, and every sloka in Sanskrit has the precise mathematical formula and the number, which expose the deeper meaning of Vedic texts. And also this recognized the perfection of the Sanskrit language, recognized NASA scientist Rick Brinks, which stated that Sanskrit is the only language translatable into the machine code without loss of meaning. And this opens complete new paradigm what Sanskrit really is, and the basic paradigm should be that this is the common language of all humanity, same as Vedic knowledge. And I will try to unite all these into that unity that penetrates all reality. So in Western science, many people were studying Vedic texts and Vedic wisdom that belongs to that after the last flood was kept in the East Asia and Eurasia, because Himalayas on that time was also the tallest mountain, so the most of humanity survived in that area. Therefore, that knowledge comes from the East, and so all Western scientists, just a few of them who were studying Vedas, were studying this knowledge in different scriptures and created new innovations and find new concepts based on Vedas. Many of them represented these new things as their invention, but they like our languages and our whole science and spirituality and religions evolved from this same source. So Nikola Tesla, for example, who is coming from my country, he was a very good friend with Swami Vivekananda, who was the first person who brought Vedas to the West. He used the terms after meeting with Swamiji, prana and akasha, for describing phenomena, and also he spoke about Vedanta as an rational science that should be attained by modern science. Also, other Western scholars were studying Vedas, and it was like the first idea to create many parts of the sciences, and the real progress came through Vedic knowledge and Vedic wisdom. And these are just a few examples. Like Bohr, he was the inventor. He said that his yin yang symbol is the main symbol that he wanted to see everywhere. Heisenberg visited Indian physicists that deepened his understanding of quantum mechanics. Old Greeks also were studying this knowledge through in many areas. So this is the something common for the whole humanity, because we here have the perfect knowledge that should be recognized as eternal treasure for the whole of humanity, and the knowledge of our ancestors, common ancestors. The summit of the Vedas is the science of Vedanta, and Vedanta is like it sum up the Vedic wisdom into one supreme insight, and the top on the top of the crown of Vedanta lies Advaita Vedanta, which is non-duality or oneness of the universe, and that is the highest truth. So let's start this from the highest truth, which is very simple. There is one absolute truth and one law of the universe. We have one consciousness and one soul, and Vedas and Upanishads states as Atman is Brahman, and the individual self is equal to universal self, and they are identical. And that oneness, in the oneness, mathematics is very simple, because there is no mathematics. 1 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 5 is 1, it's always 1. One inseparate reality that has been named in the different names according to some man-made religions we called Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, or even Nata tradition. And so we name the sun in different names. We also name divine source with different names, but it doesn't change reality, how we see and observe reality. So in that sense, the unification of religions is the only logical way how can we see reality and how can we progress all together. So in different tradition, God or divine source has different names, and it's interesting in Nata tradition, the God has been called as Anami or no name. So it is logical because something that is beyond any form, there should be not restricted to any name. So all is truth. God can be name, but it is all also beyond any name. So the law of karma and ahimsa and all that ethics is based on this law, because if we do anything bad to others, we practically do to ourselves, and that is the basis of ethics and moralities. That monotheism or Advaita concept that is beyond duality and triplicity. So all religions are practically monotheistic religion. When we have three, then we come to that holy Trimurti or Holy Trinity, where one God separates as a tree to express itself through nature and through these opposites. So from one absolute, the cosmic functions emerge for the duration of the Kalpa cycle. According to Vedas, Brahma is creating the world through help of Vishnu and Shiva, which are the souls that has been running these positions for this huge cycle. And also they are connected to gunas. So three gunas are the principles of nature which are present in every vibration. So all these are serve similar laws that penetrate all levels of manifestation. And also we have basic three as God, as supreme. We have soul, individual soul, as we are, and we have nature. So Krishna stated in Bhagavad Gita, among the sages, I'm the Kapila who brings the knowledge of the Sankhya. So the knowledge of the Sankhya is knowledge of the nature and how the soul can understand the natural law to become free, and how the civilization can recognize these natural laws to create machines and to understand the nature of natural laws to create efficient society based on dharma and righteousness, and also technological advancements. So the man who was able to decode Sanskrit texts through numerical values is Sri Gopala Srinivasan. He spent 50 years in decoding Sankhya science, and he is the first person to decode it axiomatically by following Pratisankhya scriptures of the phonetics of the Sanskrit letters. and he made the work Secret of Science, Sankhya's aim of scientific unification. And he also decoded Rigveda, some slokas from Rigveda, and Adhava Veda also. And he's been presenting this life as Dharma, and the main Dharma for the humanity is to recognize our true identity, that is Purusha, that is beyond any form. And therefore we have a method of simultaneous knowing, where we can see through our real spiritual eyes all what we cannot see with these two eyes. And that's the way how rishis was able to know the secrets of the nature, because in our with our senses many of the events in nature are not detectable. So there is Dhara, Dhyan, and Samadhi in one. That is called Samyama, or Siddhi, where we can axiomatically, according to Srinivasan, can see 43 simultaneous events at the same time. And that is the true power of the meditation. So we can intellectually verify every of 343 events, and to see what we now sequentially speak and listen in time, a simultaneous event that where we can share all and see all these natural laws written in as sutras, as a simultaneous set of natural law that operates on every scale. And that is how the nature functions. So when we decode the Sankhya, we come to the 5 and 2. So we have different relations of these numbers leads us to mass of the universe, to mass of the Mula Prakriti, to the base quantum potential, to fundamental interactional cycles as 10, and also to 3 gunas as 5 minus 2. So the Sankhya is complete knowledge and scientific foundation of the Vedic knowledge. And how I came out to Sankhya is through Nikola Tesla's teacher, Swami Vivekananda. He recognized Sankhya as a scientific foundation of the of all Vedas, and he also said that Sankhya is the oldest of all Vedas because it's mentioned in Vedic texts. For example, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna personally teaches Sankhya to Arjuna, describing it as a fundamental knowledge about the nature of reality. And the Sankhya is written as 68 mathematical theorems or natural laws that are self-similar, scale invariant, and holographic, which means that all these laws can be applied to any level, from the quantum level, Planck level, very subtle, to the atomic world, and to the gross manifestation and macro universe. So this is the beauty and simplicity of these laws. We will show that they can be applied everywhere, like triguna. If you understand the qualities of trigunas, you can apply that in physics, chemistry, day and night cycle, on the food, on the emotions and mind, everywhere. So is with all other laws. So we will find and we will this presentation in that light, so we can we will be able to understand more deep these slokas from Rigveda or Sankhya by knowing this. So this all 68 sutras, as we mentioned, is form one complete interactive cycle. So all these natural laws work at the same time in all points in space, infinite space. So, and this is so all these interactions, and according to West and the East approach in physics, both agrees that the space or universe is composed of vibrations or interactions that comes out from the one axiomatic substrate, which is Purusha or divine. So the beauty of Sankhya is that all constants knows to the physics, chemistry, and all unknown to the to the Western and modern science is derived through three principles or three constants. So everything comes out from the very simple, and that is that one. And the master equation of Sankhya and or nature is the equation connected to the golden ratio, because every value or every mass or every transformation in nature must have two sides, and these two sides are simultaneous part of vibration, which is the cause of vibration, and sequential visible part that we consider as a movement. So the golden ratio is the only number that where can equalize these two, which is the cause and in the effect of every movement or substance in the universe. So the golden ratio is the number how God creates, and the rate C is the vibration of the heart or heartbeat of the space itself. It is a fundamental oscillatory rate of the space. And it is like a universal clock, perpetual axiomatic rate that constantly vibrate at the same speed. And golden ratio is also the part of this equation. So, and also we have K constant, which is the difference between cubic and volumetric expansion. Through these three constants, Srinivasan was able to come to all physical constants in the universe. So these are some examples how from three axioms the whole physical universe come to exist. For example, speed of light is directly rooted in the frequency of the space multiplied by a Doppler effect, which is the adaptation to our galactic movement. Planck constant at photon also through C. gravity constant. All these constants known to physics are actually derivation of Purusha as a source, and these three constants. So on the bottom you can see the great balance constant and all these very precise values you can see in the right side of these as results can be placed into the equations of equalization and to one, which proves the validity of these numbers that perfectly fits to the physical values of the Western physics that has been determined by scientific measures. So the beauty of Sankhya is that through these equations we can structurally understand how these laws are functioning. Because, for example, gravity constants, they know the number and the value of gravity, but they don't know why is that number. But here we can understand why, and all for all other laws. And we come to first verse of Rigveda, which is translated by Sri Srinivasan, and this is we on the bottom we see there are different translations of the same sloka. So Agni Mile Purohitam and so on. This is the original Vedic text, Vedic letters. Then we have Latin below. And then we have translation. So the normal and usual translation is like on the bottom, I invoke Agni or fire, the divine will that leads sacrifice of life and bestow the highest spiritual treasures. Or we praise fire, divine minister of sacrifice and giver of the wealth. And Srinivasan translated it by triggering of the expansive qualities of the fundamental substratum, abundant free energy can be obtained. And on the first view, it can seems contradictional or rare. Why is that? But when you deeply go into the meaning of the Sanskrit, then we can understand this that because the nature of reality is self-similar or scale invariant. If you do some yajna, which has the very broad implementation in Sanskrit language, in yajna means like we sacrifice, but sacrifice can be we do something for others. We can do ritual, or we can do pranayama or breathing exercise, or we can do meditation, or we can trigger some impulses with some devices which are in step with natural laws. Like, for example, we have coil, and then we place with frequency generator or some other ways we create some impulses in this coil and wire that can will always produce magnetic field and some effects. So if we have three coil and synchronize them to the three guna concept, then we can produce even free and abundant energy. We can also transmit energy and information on that way. So what is real meaning of the first sutra when we look the meaning as yajna is very broad concept. It is multi-meaning of this, and all these three translations and commentaries are correct, because through triggering some impulses that we can do in every life, of course, we can say, if we pray, we also get abundant and free energy from God or from the space. So this is the nature of Sanskrit and Vedic texts, that all these laws are applied to all levels, from the quantum level to the macro level. Now we see the hidden code that is beyond we can see the same sloka, Agni Mile Purohita, and so on, but translated to the code, because every syllable has the code numerical value, and this sloka has a hidden written code with 26 digits, and every digit also represent three gunas, but we will not cover this into this presentation. But how we come to the 3D space and why is because this is still as a one unmanifested set of the codes, and so Srinivasan plays this number as a cube root that extracts linear velocity. So the step by step moves how he do that is, for example, we in one step one we see this code with 26 syllables or 26 digit number, and then third root of this number we and multiplied by cubic yards, which is the Vedic measure. We got the number of 3006 on 10 on 8 meters in cycle. And then we divide that with Doppler effect, because it is the main precession equinox cycle that impact our Earth and solar system, and then we come to the axiomatic rate of the space, which from where all natural laws comes out. So and also when we with Doppler effect we come to the speed of light. So in this number of the first sloka of Rigveda is actually the message that we can trigger the free energy through many different ways, through yajna. It can be ritual, it can be many paths, and it's also coded the main quantum of energy as speed of light, and the main axiomatic rate of the space or heartbeat of the space that is practically the cause of all natural laws. So from this example we see how deep and rich is that one sloka that hides huge number of information and wisdom about the universe. And so the holographic universe, the base is Purusha, and the Purusha is space itself. So the space, the main conclusion of Sankhya is that space is not empty, space is the fullness, it is the source. And each point in space contains practically all information of the whole. And this is the Prakriti frequency we showed recently, which is 296 oscillation per axiomatic cycles. And this Purusha source is considered as the dark matter or dark energy, because the sequential instruments cannot detect the simultaneous phenomena. Only meditation or CD process can detect simultaneous phenomena and coherence, which is the base quality of Purusha or divine soul. So the space of Purusha is creating through oscillation synchrony through 2 or 3 axes that appear as a density or mass. For example, synchronizations on the 2 axes are fluids like air and water with change in center of the mass, and all which is dense is synchrony on the 3 axes. The difference between the quality of substances is just the speed of vibration, nothing else. Then we have, this is the superposition, which is actually the mass. Mass is the coherence and simultaneous oscillations that are synchronized. And resonance, so it creates the stable standing waves as atomic structures, so everything is in resonance. And transmission, so oscillation travel as a wave packages. And actually, the most interesting understanding and message of Sankhya, what I personally liked, is that whole this amazing universe is composed from the same divine substance. So all these varieties are just the play of vibration of the one, but it's all based on the same divine very subtle material. So with the equation of golden ratio, the second equation of the unity, you can see the master equation where we have subtle scale, nuclear scale, and the cosmic scale into relation to each other and into one, which completely proves Sankhya science as a perfect theory and eternal science that unites all natural laws and physics, chemistry, biology, and all these sciences into one complete and perfect eternal science. So as we see, the one is the base of all. And of course, the Sankhya expose Purusha is number 091.5, but that is the only, that space from 1 to 095 is the space that Purusha allow this creation, because this number is the perfect balance of 3 gunas. So the Purusha is the base of all existence, of course, and these numbers are just the calculations of oscillations in the space, which is the only way how you can expose these. And this is, of course, exposed as a number and numbers of oscillations and mass, of course. So, and the distance and different levels. These are the numbers that Sankhya unites into one science. So the third equation of the unity is the state of unmanifested reality, which is the transcendental balance. And we all learn in the school the number pi and number e as a natural logarithm, number golden ratio. RS is the conversion of simultaneous and sequential that is new constant from Sankhya, and these are basic 10 divided by 7 are axiomatic cycles. So you see that these transcendental numbers that go to infinity are practically the coming out of that one, which shows completeness and perfection of the Vedic science in terms of scientific values proven with exact mathematics, as you can see. So we are all one, and all these are coming from that one. And Manduka Upanishad say, I am that, you are that, all this is that, and that alone is, there is nothing but that. And that one is the source of all. And that one is divine love. And divine love is the only law of universe. And I'm going to show you how, because the essence of the universe is love. It is the only moving force behind every phenomena. And Krishna in Bhagavad Gita stated, those who worship me with love, they are in me and I am in them. And love is one, and it is the only force of the cosmos. And all four forces of the physics, like gravity, electromagnetism, strong and weak nuclear, are expression of that divine love through duality. And every motion in the universe is caused by love. And every count stress gravitate from the higher to the lower due to love. And gravity is just manifestation of the love in the dual phase. And love actually unites the whole universe, and love is the same thing as infinite bliss, which is the quality of the soul. And the main axiom of Sankhya is just a perfect balance on that is shown in every scale of existence. So the Swami Vivekananda used to say, love is a centripetal force of the universe, is God, and love is the structural law of existence and the only moving force in the cosmos. So the purpose of the human birth, which is the rarest gift and the deepest call, is to know our real nature. And our real nature is actually divine, infinite, and perfect. And according to Vedas, the human incarnation is extraordinarily rare, and it is culmination of many life cycles of evolution. So the human nervous system, clean and refined in meditation, is capable of directly perceiving Purusha, truth. So the main dharma or duty or the purpose of our living is actually to know our true nature and our divine essence, and to through experience know and see that we are one with the source or God. And so meditation and is practically scientific methods, and eight limbs of yoga speaks about 8 steps to come to that final conclusion and to see what is our real nature. So the roots and bases to non-violence, truthfulness, non-stealing, purity, of the thoughts and the deeds and truthfulness, and then we have physical postures, regulation of the breath, and 4 steps of concentration and contemplation, and finally absorption in that oneness. So according to author of Sankhya, meditation is precise instrument for assessing the simultaneous field of knowledge that is accessible only through our real nature, not through the senses, which are very limited. So this is a universal cycle how we can reach that, because if our body is not good and clean, we will not be able to calm the mind and see what is beyond. And only through a mind that is free of thoughts, we can experience ourselves in our true nature. So the main truth is that unmanifested perfect coherence, which is actually the source of the nature, which is infinite potential. And the gravity is just a tendency of the all phenomena to return to the source. So actually, meditation is the way back home, and meditation leads from us from dualistic field to the oneness of our soul as eternal witness, pure consciousness, and the main quality of the soul or God is infinite divine love. And hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of scientific studies of leading institutes all around the world confirm the measurable effects of meditation on all field of our existence, from physical body to mental and emotional, and also when we meditate, we also contribute to the world peace. That's why it's very important for everybody to see and to find the path in our spiritual progress. So the isolation of Purusha without modes of Prakriti, Patanjali used to call as Chitta Vritti Nirodha, which is stop of fluctuation of the mind, where we see through experience we are pure, silent, and eternal witness. So the Vedas are practically the common heritage of all humanity. All cultures and religions are, in fact, one truth. We have different names, but we all these religions actually are truth, and they are good, and they speak about same fundamental reality, and we should see and recognize that unity of religions and unity of all these cultures as a one, because we are all family. Whole universe is family. So all these practices from the Vedas, like inner silence, breath awareness, contemplation of God, are actually the common spiritual practice that unites all religions, because all religions pray, all religions can meditate, and there is no nobody's property is something which is eternal and universal. So the physics of law, one law penetrates through all four laws of Western physics, like gravity is just attraction and repulsion. The law experience itself in duality. So the gravity is actually according to this law where higher vibrational cones gravitate towards the lowest massive centers, which is the cause of gravity. And that tendency of synchronization, like we turn on the heater and the whole room get heated because of this law, or we approach to some saint person and we become we feel much better, and this law operates everywhere, and it is the root of electromagnetism, strong and nuclear force, weak nuclear force, which is actually one love and one force that is rooted in love, because love is attraction, and through duality, love manifests the material world as a one law that later separates into many laws that we understand them as different laws, but it's all rooted in one. And this is also the path for home and to return to our souls, because to complete the cycles. And so from Purusha or soul, it comes everything through Prakriti. Love become motion, and then love is exploring itself as material forms. And then we come back to Kaivalya, or isolation of Prakriti is more than come back to the home. So all actions from love leads to us to through God, because God is love, and the meditation or the silence is direct experience of our perfect self that is all-knowing and eternal. And therefore Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, at the end of many births, a man of wisdom seeks refuge in me alone, and saying Vasudeva is all. So one God for all universe, one truth, one law that splits into many. And so therefore the Vedic knowledge, as they speak about eternal Sanatan Dharma or eternal laws, is the living code of the universe. And the Sanskrit, which is the perfect knowledge based on the natural 52 natural sounds, same like Sankhya is number 52, and all our chakras has these 52 letters and sounds. All the natural law and the structure is self-similar, scale invariant. And if you understand only one law, you can apply that on all scales. So the Sankhya and Rigveda are perfect sciences that are eternal, and human awareness that turn inward can comprehend and understand itself and nature in its full scale. But the God or universal self or absolute will always be can never be searched and can never be comprehended fully. And therefore it is the beauty of creation, because there is always something new to learn and to grow and to evolve until we reach that final state of oneness. So with this I would finish and my presentation.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing such an insightful and multi-dimensional view on Sankhya Darshan, Advaita, and Vedanta. Thank you so much again. It's actually very nice and very multi-dimensional, right from ancient wisdom to modern knowledge and science. Now the stage is open for the question, but one thing is that it's already late. but you can ask some important question if you have in your mind. Just unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have given very nice presentation, sir,
Thank
regarding
you.
the Sankhya. My question is very simple regarding your Vedas. You have considered only that the Rigveda. Why did you consider this Rigveda for a study, and how it is different from the other three Vedas?
Rigveda is the main Veda. From other three comes out, and Rigveda is about the creation of the universe and these basic first principles of creations. Other three Vedas are more connected. Sama Veda is connected to the music, and these are hymns of Rigveda. So Yajurveda is more connected to the living, and Arthava Veda is more, even more connected to the worldly living and how we should organize family and raise children, and how to set up successful society. And from there, whole Vedic knowledge starts. But all these Sanskrit letters and texts can be decoded and to understand the full meaning of it. And also, there's no doubt that these texts are coded so and secret, and it's not for everybody to understand some secrets because it can be misused. So the Rig Veda is the main Veda, and the first sloka of Rig Veda is how practically the universe starts and real basis of existence.
Anything?
Another one question, sir, regarding of the 25 tattvas of the Sankhya. You have talked about only two tattvas, that is the Purusha and Prakriti. How it is going to support the other 23 tattvas of the Sankhya?
Yeah, according to Purusha, we have Tat, that is Purusha. So there is that. So we have Supreme Being, that oneness, and we have 24 tattvas. Tattva means derived from that one. So we have Prakriti, which oscillate at the rate C, which is unmanifested Avyakta. Then the first product of divine is Mahad, or cosmic intelligence, that when calculated in the seconds is Planck mass. Then we have ego of I-ness, and then mind, universal mind. These are all fields. And then we have tanmatras. First tanmatra is sound, and these tanmatras are very subtle essences that come into the contact with our senses, like sound, taste, smell, and so on. And these compressed tanmatras in simultaneous packages are actually akasha, or space. And the space is the mother of other four mahabhutas, or great elements. So from space comes out air, fire, water, and earth. So all these next tattva have all these before. So every vibration is supported with the Mahad, or cosmic intelligence. And then we have 5 senses and 5 organs of actions, like living beings. And these are 24 tattvas plus Tat Purusha, which is the source of all.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else have any question? Otherwise, I can propose the vote of thanks and then move on the Shanti part.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
okay,
very much,
then
Mr. Marko. It was a great presentation. I have a very basic question. Like when we read the Vedas, when from spiritual point of view, like that's how I have read them. I could not even think of there is so much of mathematical connection. And how does one know where to look for which slok? If we work backwards, okay, in this very first sloka we found the speed of light and the frequency of resonance of the universe and all that. But how was one to know that this is where I'm going to find this information? Where is for a person who's just about starting to read Vedas, or just read superficially, how does that person know I have to look in so and so section of the Vedas if I want to find so and so information related to science, or some the modern science that we know of at the moment?
Yeah, it is exposed in phonetics of the Sanskrit letters, Sanskrit language, like Pratisankhya. There are different Pratisankhya's, and Srinivasan exposed that knowledge in kapilavastu.en website, where you can find these knowledge and his work. And yes, definitely, the Vedas are very scientific, and they cover all sciences into one united theory, which explain this universe from the different angles. So all these misunderstanding between the concepts of or the schools are just because these are viewed from the different points or positions. For example, this winter I was studying Tirumantiram text of Tirumolar, which is one of the most ancient Siddhas. And Shivaism explained the universe as 36 tattvas, which was interesting for me to compare that to Sankhya, that expose universe as 24 tattvas, or 25 if you include Purusha. But what I found is that it is completely complementary knowledge, because Shivaism or Tilumolar go into much deeper research of Purusha. So additional 12 tattvas are connected to Purusha, that include Jiva as an individual soul, and some other steps how Purusha or individual soul is climbing to unify to the source. So all these knowledge is this Vedic knowledge is very scientific, rooted in reality, complementary in between these texts, and also Vedic knowledge is the root of the Western science, and also of all religions, and therefore should be considered as a property of all humanity, because it really is. And I think this is the key, the unification of religions and science, and to recognize the whole universe is one family, is the main theme for the golden age. And we should all recognize that unity and truth behind all these scriptures.
Thank you so much. That was very, very well explained. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir,
Thank you.
again for sharing your insightful knowledge. And this session started a new point of discussion on how the Sanatan Dharma, the Vedic knowledge, the principles of Advait philosophy, the Vedanta and the Vedas, how they are evolved for modern knowledge, for solving modern quantum problems. Actually, it started a new point of window for discussion for all the scientists and scholars, not from only from Vedic studies, but also for the modern world also. And I also want to thank Captain Manohar sir for providing this platform where we can discuss the field, the interdisciplinary field like this, where we bridging ancient knowledge as well as the modern scientific interpretation, and understood how ancient wisdom is not just the mythology and all, it is pure scientific interpretation of modern functions and modern calculations. And now again, thanks to
Yes.
you to put light on it. And I also thankful to all the faculty members and other participants who joined with us with this in this webinar. And I want to request you all, if you want to learn more and more about the Vedic Dharma, the Vedic principles, the astrology, and other Vedic concepts, you can join us and connect to us and visit our website. We have a lot of certificate courses, diploma, master's degree, and we also have the PhD program in astrology, Ayurvedic sciences, chaplaincy, solar sanskars, Hindu philosophies, and all. You can start your journey with us. With this end, I can end the session, but before that, we will do the Shanti part. So let's go join the hand and do the Shanti part. Just take a deep breath and Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om,
Good
Guru
knowledge.
Namaha.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. The session is now concluded.
Yeah.
At International Hindu University, USA, you are not simply enrolling in a university. You are becoming part of a global family rooted in wisdom, service, cultural heritage, and the enduring spirit of We Are One. Join us on a journey of knowledge, self-discovery, and global harmony. International Hindu University, USA. Contact us at contact@ihuusa.org or call +1305 5196 083. Preserving wisdom, inspiring futures, transforming lives.